Hello, everyone. Hello, Kajal. I assume you're excellent.
Hi, Adelere. I assume you're excellent too. Thank you so much.
Yes, I am, and you're welcome. All right. So what we want to look at today is one of the lessons we have once examined, but this time around we're going to look at it from an actual viewpoint of what a billionaire or a trillionaire says in his mind when he considers others. Okay. So, in general, this particular concept has to do with a change of your meanings of selfishness, self-centeredness, and kindness. Also maybe a little part of niceness. Now, first and foremost, you want to define for yourself what it means for you to be kind. And having definitions of certain states of consciousness for your own personal self, make sure that you're not taking on the same general attitude about that concept which everyone else might have. So, for example, what does it mean for me to be kind? And then what does it mean for me to be selfish and to be self-centered? Because you'll find a peculiar habit in billionaires and trillionaires, and it is that they are self-centered. You really have to be in order to produce results of that level. So what do I mean? You really have to be. The times length we're discussing about, or that we started discussing yesterday, um, I mentioned it is something in particular. It is the total sum of all of your concepts put together, working out or operating itself. That's what a times length is. All of your concepts put together, working out. Now, if we take the concepts of being a billionaire, and you put it down. Just say a person has $10 billion right now in their name. Will that concept sit well with another concept that, for example, says it's bad for a person to have $1 billion when others don't even know what they're going to have for dinner yet? Will those two concepts sit together? Surely not. Now, really, does this person having $10 billion stop others from having dinner? Actually, it doesn't. It really doesn't. If this billionaire, by the way, takes his money and gives it and shares it to all the people who are hungry today, will that make them stop being hungry tomorrow? No. How about if he takes the $10 billion and he shares it back and gives it as money to them, will they really become rich and automatically not be poor again? Actually, no. They might even be worse or more miserable. That is not particularly the point, though. The point is, if he wants to be a billionaire or a trillionaire, he's got to be willing to be self-centered and selfish, or at least to not judge having $10 billion as a bad thing that is really despicable or that makes him evil just because there are people in the world who haven't eaten all day while he is busy sitting on $10 billion. Now, I said we have to redefine because there was a time in your life that you probably actually had that sentiment. You might even have had some money and then suddenly grown into that sentiment. And you find yourself having no money anymore because you sympathize with the state of not having. Redefine those meanings so that you lose the sense of this state and you lose the experience or nature of it. If you have billions, believe that you are self-centered with it, meaning everything in the world revolves around you. If you want to have billions or trillions, you've got to start with actually having this self-centeredness as your fundamental core. And it's interesting, if you put the two words apart, you actually find we're just saying, be the great I am. I love how Neville really put it somewhere. He said, if you think this is egocentric, he said, let us talk about me for a moment. Let us talk about who I am for a moment. I am. If you think this is egocentric, well, there are 66 books that were written just about me. Remember that. If you think, oh, well, I don't think I can do this because like this is going too far, right? This is going too much beyond this. I don't even think I recognize myself anymore if I go this line, Adelere. Well, remember this. There are 66 books written about you, and they're put into a book that is the most read book in the entire world, the Bible, and it's all about you. So be self-centered with respect to billions as well. You already have been self-centered. There's no way you aren't. The entire world actually revolves around you. If it doesn't, you wouldn't have breakfast or lunch or dinner. You wouldn't try to self-preserve yourself. You wouldn't bother to live for the day, but you do. But what's so important in this world that you're after? Or rather, it actually seems to you that the world revolves around you. Now, all I'm saying is do that with a sense of being a billionaire, with a sense of being a trillionaire. Just do that with the sense of being those. Change your meaning of kindness from it meaning giving that which belongs to you away to someone else so that it doesn't belong to you just so you could end their situation, to giving away your opinion of that person as being in the state of need in order to entertain or hold the opinion of the person being in the state of abundance. That's actually true kindness. That is true generosity. You never really have to change your opinion. By the way, it is the more treasurable and costlier thing to part with. Money you can make a lot of. Opinions, well, if you're letting go of it, it's like changing yourself. It's like you stand in the mirror and you don't know who you are and you don't recognize the person you're looking at anymore. Because now it's a different person than you used to know. Opinions are generally more difficult to change because they're more about you. Like, this is who I am. And I'm saying, make your sense of kindness and generosity about changing those. That's the lesson I want you to really contemplate this time around. Make your sense of kindness and generosity about the sense of kindness and generosity that you have as changing your opinions of people from that they need, they do not have, they lack, to the opinion that they excel in abundance. A few years back, I walked into this restaurant and I was just well, I had my lunch and then there was this man who opened the door for me and the doorman, yeah, that was the doorman. And he had a really bright smile. I loved it. And I looked at him so much and I wondered, it would be nice if this young man had all the money and all the things in this world they would love to treasure, all the abundance in the world. So you know what I did? While I was having my lunch, I was looking at him and I changed the clothes he was wearing and I removed him from the post of being the doorman. Then I simply allowed him to walk in a great, beautiful cloth, overflowing garment. There's a particular one we have in our country that rich men loved, rich old money men love to wear. And let them actually open the door for him instead. And he walked into the place like he owned the place. And I saw that. Then I had a reaction. Oh, he's rich. Now that's kindness. I didn't give him a tip. I didn't give him a single tip, amount of money for tip. But I gave him something more than that. I changed my opinion of him in that moment. But I don't know if I'll see him again. Maybe it happens one day and he enjoys all of that all of his life. But that's kindness. And he didn't know what I did to him. He didn't have to pay it back. That's kindness. That's the only true kindness in this world. Have the sense of kindness being this as a billionaire or a trillionaire. Then the next thing you do is to be really selfish. So you be self-centered and you be really selfish. But selfishness doesn't have to mean that you don't want others to have something in life. No, it just means that you love to have what you had as yours. That's being selfish. Really. Just change the meaning. Whatever the meaning has been that you thought it to be, you attributed those meaning. I want you to understand that it's arbitrary. You gave those meanings to it. So just make it mean you love what you have to be yours. That's that you're selfish. That you selfishly wake up one morning, for example, and you say, I want a private island. I want to own a private island. Well, you want to own it. You don't care what the world might be saying about the scarcity of private islands. You want what you want, and you would own what you want to own. That's it. Make that your sense of being selfish. Do you understand? Say you get out one day and come across, you come across a car and you go, I'd love to have a car just like this. Now, maybe everyone is saying, oh, they don't make cars like that anymore, but you don't care. You want what you want. It doesn't mean that you want someone else to not have it or that you think you have to stop people from having cars like that. No, not at all. But you want what you want. So I want this car. Okay, I want it. That's what I want. And then you simply go ahead believing that you have exactly that. And that is only selfishness. So self-centeredness is then you believe that you're the center of all things. So what can judge you? Who can judge you? You being a trillionaire now, but you are the center of all things. So it's only right that you are a trillionaire. It's only right. In fact, if not for you, some billionaires would never be created. Some multimillionaires would never be created. Some jobs would never exist. Some um, values to the world would never exist. Some services would never have been rendered, if not because of you, because you just dream to have those things. because you dream to engage people on that level. But that's why those things exist. Now you dream yourself to be a trillionaire in this manner. You're self-centered. Yes. Do we do this with the people we employ, like our driver and so on? Yes, actually, yes. Do this with even people you haven't employed yet, but that you have the confidence you're gonna employ them. You want to be really self-centered, knowing that the entire world actually revolves around you. It really does. Now, if you don't embrace, oh, or maybe you're asking this with respect to kindness. Yes, also with respect to kindness. Yes. And just understand this, which is one of the best ways I have found my heart to be open. Just because someone is your driver doesn't mean they have to be poor. Number one. And number two, just because someone is rich doesn't mean they can't actually serve you. I was watching something on Instagram. I think that was yesterday's afternoon. It just came up on my feed and I was like, I was captivated by the caption, so I checked it out. So it was a sitting of a particular company's board and or maybe yeah, maybe the board or maybe the people who work in the company anyway. So they were introducing themselves to the president of the country. So the first person started, and it's a popular company in my country. It's Dangote. So Dangote is a billionaire. He's probably worth $20 billion at the moment. So the first person introduced himself as the uh, director of a particular division of the company. The second person introduced himself as the director of that division of the company. Third person introduced again as another director of another division of the company for some number of years. And so about 4 or 5 people introduced themselves to the president as being directors of the division of different divisions of this company. And then the last person to introduce himself, he just said, "Hello, Mr. President. I am Aliko Dangote." That's it. It's just his name. He didn't introduce himself as the CEO, as the chairperson, as anything. Just his name. I am this person. And a lot of people wrote in the caption, some people went, "Oh, he didn't finish it." He could have said, "Hello, Mr. President. I'm Aliko Dangote, and it's your pleasure to meet me." Okay. It's your pleasure to meet me. So the reason I referenced that was all the board of directors, all of the directors are actually going to be rich. They're working for him, but they're also going to be rich. He made them rich. They're rich, but they're still working for him. And they're definitely happy in the world that they're working for him. Do you understand that? I once mentioned something about that with respect to, for example, the shoe shiner of the president of the country. The shoe shiner of the president of the country actually feels really fortunate to be the one shining the shoes of the president. Now, I want you to consider it this way, just so you understand what I mean by dreaming yourself to be so big. If the president didn't dream himself to be that big, the shoe shiner might never have the luxury of feeling great as a person in his entire life. This is the idea of being self-centered. Don't think, oh, others have their goals, they have their dreams. Of course, they have something they want. No, if you don't dream yourself to be as big as you are, they might never actually have that flicker of light in them to embody or taste the kind of life that your dream enables them to enjoy. So you really must be self-centered. And if you are, you're actually being as kind as you could be in this world. Embrace it. That's our lesson today. So I'll see you tomorrow for our final call of this series. And until then, bye bye.
Thank you.